Hello everyone, and welcome back to Distant Worlds Universe. So we're in the second episode now, and last episode ran through sort of get our homeworld set up first, our construction ship going over, and picked up a frigate, which is great, exploration ship, exploring things. That's right, we had to turn this one around, didn't we? That's okay. And build our starport and our research station. And explained a bunch of the concepts as well, sort of the core concepts and things. So I won't run through a lot of those as much, but if you come up against anything new, I'll just sort of give you a brief overview of what that's all about. So I'll get the game going again. At the moment, our leaders increased their population growth skill, which is good. More people equals more money. That's what we want. So we're running low on money, so we have to. We've got quite a big negative cash flow as well, so we're going to have to increase our tax rates soon, but that's okay. We're going to have to do that for a little while. Retrofitted our bases at the end of our last episode, which is good. So now I've got, if you have a look here, it's retrofitted. Now we've got shields, so the shields are building up here. A little bit more firepower as well, which is great. So our exploration ship, I'm guessing, has come over. Where has it gone? There it is. So it's come over to this place with a ruin and high chamber of Alrune. We've discovered the high chamber, ancient ruins from a lost civilization. From our orbital inspection, we detect that the ruins lie deep in snowdrifts at the peak of a windswept mountain pass. Should we investigate the ruins? Yes, we should. Storehouse of ancient knowledge is exactly what we wanted. In the ruins of the high chamber, we've found a store of scientific knowledge from a vanished civilization. Though very difficult to decipher, this store of knowledge has given us enough understanding to begin researching the project Warp Field Precursors. The Warp Field Precursors project holds the promise of faster than light travel, opening up the galaxy to our exploration. That's brilliant. So, if we go into research, energy and construction, we've got energy collection going up here. So now we can actually unlock Warp Field Precursors, which will give us hyperdrives. If you have a look there under the little pop-up below, the speed is at 2000, and the fastest ship we can create at the moment is only at 50 speed, so we can go a hell of a lot faster, which is great. So energy collection won't be too far away. Generally, it's actually quite quick to get warp field precursors, so generally I actually queue up space construction. So this allows us to increase the size of our ships. So if you have a look at the pop-up there, it says maximum ship size 300. Which means that we can actually get more onto our ship, so more armor, more weapons, more speed. So I actually might queue that up first. And then once we get warp field precursors, we can actually fit out our ships far better. So we'll queue that up and go back, grab our exploration ship, and we'll queue up Lone Trader. We've encountered a lone starship in our system, Surly Destiny. Good. Does not appear to be a hostile pirate, but rather an independent space trader. Could be other ships like this. Might they help transport needed resources for us? And they will indeed. They will come and give you what you need. If your colonies ever short anything, they'll sell you things. And we're just going to queue up our exploration ship to go and explore some of these planets. So we'll queue up next mission. And we'll go over to this other ruin last as well to see what's over there. Explore that planet, and then once you queue up this gas giant as well, which will be the last one, and then it should explore all these planets at once. Our exploration ship's going over here to build the gas mining station, which is great, exactly what we wanted. And we're in the red with our money, which I hadn't noticed. So if we go into here in our colony, so if we see actually the benefit of going with this the population first strategy, so we've got a population of 8.45 million, which is a lot more than what we started with, which is great. And the more population you have, the more money you have, so we can actually tax this quite heavily. So go into colony screen, put in the tax rate. You've got here under the population tab, inhabitants of our planet are happy with you plus 31. So you never obviously want that to get into the negative. So you put in there and you actually sort of flip between here and it will update this rate. So actually down to -5, so we can't have it that much. We might drop it down to 37, say. And +2, yep, so that's okay. So we just click out of that, run the game, and our cash flow will update. There we go, 43,000. So cash flow updates once every month, just depends on the date and all those kind of things. So there we go, now we're starting to tick over some money, which is great. So we'll let that run for a while, give ourselves some money, and then we'll drop it back. We'll drop our tax rate back down to 0 and keep building our population, which is good indeed. So we have some private mining ships over here. So actually going to mine this planet over here. Yep. So it has a bunch of resources over here, which is great. If you're not sure what resources do, or if someone's starting out the game or not, sort of haven't got the game yet, good place. Actually, there's two ways you can do it. Just jump up here to the Galactopedia, which is basically sort of like an FAQ or manual. Once this opens, on the right side here, we've got a whole bunch of different things. You actually look at things like components. So different, if you're not over sure like what a weapon does, like a certain, if you have a look here under, like, this is probably my biggest problem with the game, especially when I started. A lot of these research things, you're actually not sure what they do. So, what are gravitic weapons? Can't even pronounce it. So what do they do, and how do they different with everybody else? So if you have a look under here, you can go into weapons, components, and we go into, why aren't they there? Gravity beam weapons is what they are, I believe. Yes, they are. Right, so that's right. There's different types of them, aren't there? Yes, of course there are. Yeah, so you can have a look at here and have a look at what they do and things like that, and how they're different. Like bombard weapons, why are they different? And bombard weapons, lower a population in a colony, and then area weapons and all that kind of stuff. So same thing happens with components. You have a look at the races, you have a look at all their characteristics. Like this is who we are. And then also resources is a really good one as well. If you're not sure what they do, so like luxury resources is generally about population, like colony population happiness and growth rate. So and development levels and sort of value and how rich a planet is and all that kind of stuff. So the more luxury resources you can get to a planet, the better. And then there's certain like strategic resources which you generally use to build like here, beam and torpedoes. So strategic resources. Generally used to build ships and weapons, and then there's sort of, if we can get one, standard resources. Nope, can't find them, that's right. Then there's sort of a third type as well. Yeah, and it's also got like occurrence here, extremely rare. So if you come across an extremely rare thing, it's really good to get like a foothold on that resource. So you can actually sort of lock down a big portion of. So like a map of like the 1,000 stars in this, there may only be like 10 planets that have like a certain extremely rare resource. So if you can lock down a couple of planets with that, with your mining stations and things like that, then you control a big source of that product, and you can deny that to other empires, and you can sell it on, and you can do lots of things. So that's another good thing as well. So we finished a bunch of research here. So we've got energy collection, medical systems, and enhanced beam weapons. With research projects or components, one of two things will happen. So this breakthrough provides a new component. It basically means that you won't get the benefit from this research unless you add that component, like a new component to a starport or a ship, or it says this provides improvements to an existing component. So some weapons technologies, once you research them, they actually just upgrade on a ship or a starport automatically, and you won't have to do anything for it. So, but for all these three, we have to upgrade them ourselves. We won't worry about the medical systems in being weapons yet. We'll do sort of one big upgrade at the same time once a couple of other things finish. But we're going to energy collection. I'll just explain what they do. So if we go to our spaceport here, actually another thing I should have done is turn all these to manual just to make sure the AI doesn't change it itself. So we go into manual, medium spaceport manual. So what we got here, so like I've mentioned sort of in the last episode, I think there's two different types of energy up here. There's research energy, reactor energy, so it comes from basic space reactors there, reactor power output, and that's used for things like weapons, shields, and things like that. Then there's a static energy, so things like command centers here. If you have a look down here in the bottom left, it says static energy used is 2. Stuff like construction yards as well, or use static energy. Static energy can't be used, or they can't use reactor power energy, so they're sort of different sort of type of energy. So the problem with this is that if you have, like, for example, 216 here and you've got no energy collection, if we click on our spaceport, static energy has to use fuel to survive. So here's why our fuel rate is dropping so dramatically. Basically, the problem with this is it's very expensive. So because this space station's not moving, normal like ships use fuel to move. Even though the space station isn't moving, it's moving, it's using a hell of a lot of fuel, which is really expensive. It means it has to be refueled all the time, which gets really expensive really quickly. So what we're going to do, go in here, manually upgrade, and add on 5, say 10 energy collectors. What these do is it picks up energy from basically the system, so it picks up energy from the sun and things like that. It does vary a little bit depending on where you are in the system, type of planet, what type of sun it is, but I wouldn't worry too much about that if you're starting out. Just sort of make sure this energy collection rate is more than the static energy rate and you'll be right. So that's done there. So once that upgrades, that won't be costing us fuel, which is good. So we'll manually upgrade this, and then energy collection, and we'll add on 2 of those, which is 48, 44, which will be good. And we'll quickly retrofit these so they're not costing us anything anymore. Spaceport, which will be good. And there we go. So we got a fair bit of money built up. Secluded Citadel, so that must be our other one. Our other planet, wherever it's gone, over here. We've discovered the secluded citadel, ancient ruins from a lost civilization. From our position in orbit, we see the ruins lie in the midst of a vast rocky plain, blanketed by thousands of geothermal steam vents. Should we investigate? Yes, we should. In the ruins, we have found valuable treasure worth 8,200 credits, which is pretty good. We'll take that. So we've got a lot of money now. So what we're going to do is go back in here, and you actually see the benefit or the impact that tax has. Our population has dropped down to +5 when it was up at, high 20s. So now we're going to drop it back down again. Run this for a little bit. Our cash flow drops, but our population growth rate increases dramatically again. And we'll run this for a while, use all our cash, and then by that time, once we start taxing, we'll get a lot more money. So that's sort of a really good way to run the game to start with. So that's all set. Our exploration ship going over here, and our construction ship's going to build a... So that's finished its mission, so it must have explored these. Yep. You might just come over a little bit further, so it gets these ones over as well. So this has got a source of Caslon, which is great, so that's our fuel. So the percentages there are collection rates, so it's sort of not, they don't really have, like amounts, you've got to worry about anything like that. It's more around, resource rate. So you will run out of certain types of resources, but stuff like fuel and stuff you won't run out of, so that's okay. So basically it's going to collect a lot more hydrogen than it is Caslon, but that's okay for this time. So an offer up here from our pirates offering us location of independent colony. So an independent colony is a colony that's not part of an, or is basically a planet. It's not part of an empire already, but it already has a population on there, or before you came along. So what you can do is actually get a colony ship and go to the ship and actually colonize it, and they'll actually, the existing population, if they're friendly, sometimes they're hostile, will actually join your empire. And so you may start with a planet of say 1 billion people rather than 30 million, which is what a standard colony ship takes with it. So you're going to be a lot better off if you can do that. And a lot of people actually base their initial starting strategy off colonizing independent planets as quickly as possible. So our exploration ships explored all these planets, so we can see all the resources they've got, which is great. Now what we're going to do is just automate that. So if you have a look over here, there's all these asteroid fields, and each one of these rocks may actually have certain types of resources on it, but it would take an absolute age to sort of explore them manually. So we're just going to go set it on auto, and here we go, explore asteroids. So we'll just go run through and finish those itself. What have we got? Made a critical breakthrough, so that basically means it's going to research a lot faster, and we've researched space construction, so that's our means we can make bigger ships, which is great. And our frigate has completed its mission, so there it is there. Once we get warp hypergyres, we'll just we'll upgrade that and use it, but for the moment we'll just leave it. So mining station. Construction of our first mining station allows us to gather large quantities of valuable resources, to galvanize and resolve our population, providing a short-term boost to our economy. Our freighters will soon begin traveling to this new mining station, returning its resources to our home world. These resources may even be sold to others in the galaxy, further boosting our fledgling empire. We should keep building more new mining stations, especially targeting key resources that both our shipbuilding and home world require. So that's great. So that must be, which one would it be? This one? Yep. So this one's completed, which is good. So So if we go into the mining station, have a look in here under cargo. So it's already started mining hydrogen and Caslon. A lot more hydrogen because the resource collection rate is a lot quicker. So we get our free construction chip now. She might get it to come over. So have you look, if you're not sure what to sort of have a look at, go into Expansion Planner. This is normally used for colonies. So have a look here under potential colonies. These are the two ones in our system. You can actually queue up a colony ship and it would go there automatically, which is good. But up here you've got resources. These are all different resources in the galaxy. A lot of these tabs you don't have to worry about. For the good one is to know unfulfilled. So this is basically, is there a resource that's being used on the Empire that you actually don't have enough of at the moment? And we have Australia. So we have 0.3k that we actually need that we don't have. We've only got available supply. So this is what we actually have supply of at the moment. So if you're running short of supply, have a look there and see if you've got sources of supply. So if you've got one source at 6k, but you're still running short, then you should maybe have a look for another source and queue up a mining station there. So if we go in targets by galaxy priority, and we have a look here, we go Australia, we can actually filter by certain resources if we need to. So we've got here, which is Australia. So we're actually going to queue up our construction ship, go over there, and there it is. It's going to go back to our colony, pick up resources, and then go over here and start build a mining station. Freighters. So freighters can actually mine resources on their own. Only the mining ships can do that. All freighters can do is basically pick up resources from mining stations. So here we go. It's going to transport hydrogen and Caslon from this mining station and it'll bring it back to our planet. So that's what freighters are for, and that's what private enterprise or private sector will do. So they'll build enough that they need, or it depends on how resources and mining stations and what you need. They'll build those and meet that demand. So what we've got now, we've got entertainment systems and enhanced missiles. So what we're going to do, we've got new weapons research available. So we're going to go down here and actually build starfighters first. Starfighters are really good for, or if you need carriers. If you're going to build a carriage, if you need fighters like fighter bays. Starfighters have been really good for starports as well. So stationary objects, because they have quite a big range. They actually hit a long way out. Like weapons have range. So missiles have a long range, like 520 range, whereas beams only have 190 range. So missiles can fire a long way away. So sometimes you get races that say, if it's a missile-based race, if you don't have anything on your like your starport, they can actually hit them a long way away, or as far away as they can hit you. They can actually sit outside your weapons range and just keep blasting you down to smithereens until you can't really do anything about it. So that's why it's always really good to have a mix of weapons on there as well. So fighters are sort of a favourite of mine as well. So I've also got high-tech research here. So what we're going to do, we've actually researched medical and entertainment. So we're actually going to colonisation now. Don't really need anything else at the moment. Transport and storage are good. Actually, before we do that, we might cancel that get transport system so we can get a passaging compartment, which means we can actually get a resort base, because memory serves me. This one, yep, scenery, plus 23%. So scenery is basically all about tourism. So what you can do is you can build a resort base with like a recreation centre on planets with scenery, and what will then happen is that private sector will build passenger ships and transport tourists to your resort base. And every time they unload tourists at your resort base, you'll get money. So that's another way of getting bonus income. So yeah, this year's bonus income, resort income down there. So that's another good way. So if you eventually get a lot of, if you can sort of queue them up really well, you can get a lot of money, because resort bases can hold a lot of people if you build them right. So you can really get a lot of money from doing that. So we'll queue that up first and then go colonisation, because colonisation, like with such a big project, you're not going to be able to research anything else for a while, because it's going to take a long time. So if you need anything early on, it's a good thing to do, to sort of get that first, even if you have to wait a little bit further. So your new ambassador. So we've got ambassadors here. So ambassadors go to other empires and sort of improve relations and things like that. So we actually don't really need him at the moment because we don't know anyone else. Got another intelligence agent, I didn't see that. So what we can do is cancel mission, check on counterintelligence as well. Counterintelligence is really good, because a lot of times it can be really annoying if you get like a really hostile race that's really good at spying. Like humans, for example, are quite gifted spies. and they can actually come in and sabotage your things. So you could be building like a resort base that costs you, 10,000 credits, and they destroy it, and because of sabotage, and you get nothing back. So it can be really, really frustrating. So that's why it's good to have some good intelligence agents on there. Get that done. What we're going to do now, another troop general. Gosh, all the characters. So your troop general. Good. So troop generals, obviously, as the name implies, help out when you're invading planets or defending planets. We don't have any troops at the moment, or invasion fleets, so I'll leave that there. What we're going to do now is go into medium spaceport. I'll show you two ways to upgrade things first. So we're going to manual first, and what we're going to do here, because we have now our medical center and our recreation center, we're going to add one of those onto each. So this will give us basically sort of a health boost, and also if our medical center will give us, like if our troops need healing, recreation center and medical center as well will both give us happiness bonuses. So they're really good as well. So the more happy your colony is, like quicker it grows, and also when you're taxing it, the higher tax rate you can actually get from them. So happiness is a good thing to go there. Also, other thing I was going to do here is pulse blasters. So this is our beam weapons in our spaceport. We actually have a new one, so this is the Max Force Blaster, so that's the upgraded version, so it's a bit more powerful and all those kind of things. So what we're going to do, we're going to take all of our Pulse Blasters off and add on 20 Max Force, and we're going to do the same with our missiles. We've got the old Seeking missiles, add on new Concussion, and just add on a Life Support Habitation module. And we've got a bit more firepower now, which is really good as well. And our energy is still good, our static as well, so let's save that. Now, other way to upgrade a station, turn off automatic before, but we can do down here, if you know that there's a, like for example, like with those two weapons components, there's actually a new component that you can actually be upgraded, rather than actually sort of going there yourself and taking them off and putting them back on. What you can do is auto upgrade. So auto upgrade there, and it should see actually had a new version and change some of the cost and all that kind of stuff. Now if we go into manual and have a look here, we can actually see that actually replaced the old beam weapons with the new ones, and same with the missiles. So that's really good. If you know that there's sort of just one really quick thing that you can upgrade, rather than going and doing it yourself, just click on auto, it'll do it itself, and then you can just retrofit it. Only caution there is that it doesn't really a lot of time take into account stuff like excess energy, so you might be running a bit low on energy, or maybe like when you get more efficient, you may have too much of something, and it won't actually take that stuff off. It won't really make those adjustments. So sometimes it's just good to know to check those kind of things. But that's all we need there for the moment, because that's auto upgraded. So we'll just go in and quickly retrofit those so they're a bit more, especially the spaceport and our research, a bit more powerful, and got those two medical and research centers on there. Our constructor, actually going to build another constructor as well here while we're going. It's always good to have a couple. So even though we haven't got hyperdrives yet, it's probably a good thing to have. Yep, so our spaceport's completed, and so is that one. Yeah, so I see our population's jumped up quite a bit. So you jump in here and have a look at the population. You actually have a look at like different buffs or debuffs on the base. So Gizureans give this volcanic colony increased construction speed, and then you've got certain resources that gives us different things. And all you hear, so the green ones are all positive, and if you've got red ones, they're negative. So they're all positive at the moment. And there we go. Recreational medical facilities benefit us +7. So that's +7 happiness, which is good. Just make our colony grow a little bit quicker, and move our taxes a bit more when we need to. So for the moment, we're doing pretty well. Everything's ticking along. No major enormous surprises, which is really good. So construction ship has completed. What I might actually do, I normally don't do this so early, but I might actually send this over, because this is quite a powerful ship, 136 firepower. So I might actually send this over here and actually repair this one first. And that would be a good little starter, either if we use it to get a research boost or use it in our fleet. Either or would be good, because we don't really need any resources at the moment. So we've got our fuel, we've got some, this has got a lot of extra ones on here. So after that's done, we'll just automate it, probably, because we'll be out of this system by then, and we'll be able to focus on other things. AI can manage that enough. Once we get our passenger thing, which is just about to complete, it looks like, we'll build a resort base. transport system and starfighters. So we got weapons. We got a free one in weapons. So we're actually going to grab in. We're actually grabbing improved assault tactics, so we can actually grab armored ground assault. Basically, so you've got infantry to start with, and then armored ground assault. Little pop-up there says if you want to pause and read it, very strong for invading enemy colonies. So really, my experience, it's really hard to invade with just an infantry. Infantry good for sort of maintaining the peace and that kind of stuff, and good defensive. But really need armored assault if you're going to take on any planets. Especially empires and stuff on this difficulty. They tend to have quite a few troops, so you really need the armoured one. So we'll get that early on. We don't really need any other weapons at the moment, so that's good. So we've got our transport system. So what we're going to do, actually go over here. We haven't, if you notice, there's no resort base in here. So you actually have to create one from here. You can use it as a copy, but it's probably just easy to just go create one. So I'm going to name this a resort base. I'm going to flip through this pretty quickly. So I've done it quite a few times. You just go into role, a resort base. And I've changed that thing as well. It's something else I've forgotten. So add on a couple hundred armor, tack on 3,000 shields, a couple of reactors to start with. We need a command center, a recreation center, a passenger compartment. That's just what actually holds all our tourists. So you see capacity 1200k. So we actually don't need all that many of them. So what we might do to start, we might just add on 2400k, so it'll be 2.4 billion people, which is heaps. So probably never going to use that, but we'll just do that for the moment. What else do we need? I've got 4 of those, 4 of those. Some fuel cells to hold fuel. Docking bays, so ships can actually dock. So you look down here, 6 bays, which means 6 ships at a time can dock, which will be plenty. Don't need that much. And commerce center as well. And we'll put in energy collector as well. So in FT 24, we've got 27, so a little bit under, so we have to add in 2. And we're adding some weapons now as well. So you probably have to add on some, probably 10 of those, 10 of those. Can we add on its own a little bit? So then we have to add in some more reactors. So 163, we're going to do this 111, 157, and another one. So we go 203, 163 weapons, and 9 shields, which will be plenty. So we add another life. Oops, don't need that. Life support. 2 and 2 habitation modules. Cargo bay. Yeah, I suppose you need cargo if anything gets shipped over. We won't need it too much, but it can't hurt. It doesn't cost that much. Cool. So that's done. So what we actually have to do now, if we try and click out of this, we're going to get, yep, so you get a message. Do not have a passenger ship. So in other words, we can't, if we get a resort base, our private sector is not going to be able to build a passenger ship, which no passengers, no money, which is no good. So what do you need? Passenger ship. So you do the same thing here. Generally on the starting ships, you don't need weapons or armor. I'll add them on later so they can look after themselves a bit better, but we'll leave that for now. So we can do a couple of reactors, chuck on some engines. It's probably more than enough. A couple of directional thrusters, some fuel cells. So it's got a good reach. Our fuel cells is about how far they can actually go before they run out of fuel. Passenger compartment. Let's add on a couple of those. And so 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, 4 of those. Command center. And we'll go passenger liner. So there we go. And hyperdrive components, we don't have them, otherwise we would. And it doesn't have any weapons or anything, we don't really need a whole lot of excess energy. We're going to add on some more things because the ship's got a lot bigger, so the speeds drop dramatically. So we'll just add it up to there. And we'll actually take off another reactor. 36, yeah, it's... yeah, that's more than enough. Actually increases our speed a bit. Yep, there we go. It's all good. There we go. So we're actually going to queue up. So we actually go down here. Another good trick is all these things down here. So these are different types of locations. So you go to resort locations. So here we go. If you just click on this one, we don't have enough money to build it. Right. So you go into here. You should actually see again, because it's, I suppose, like anything like compound interest. because we're at 24% of like 14 billion, it's grown enormously fast now. So we're actually going to increase this up to 45%, which should be enough if we just refresh that. Yep, +4. So 119,000 plus, yep, so actually rolling in money now, which is great. So what we're going to do is actually going to click on here. So you actually click on one of these locations. You actually don't have to ever go to it or click on the planet itself. You actually just click on these locations. And you can click on down here as a resort base. So this is actually going to queue up a construction ship. So once one of these two here is finished doing something, actually this one here, you see a little icon there. So this one's queued up. So this one over here that's building this station, which is nearly done. Once that's done, it'll queue up, come back here, pick up some resources, and then build a resort base over there, which will be really, really good. And then the private sector is going to build some passenger ships on its own, and they'll take some tourists over there and make us some more money. And I don't know why that hasn't queued up. Why has that not queued up? I'll try it again. It has queued up. Interesting. Alright, I'll look at that in a minute. Right, so what are we doing? So we've got a lot of money here at the moment. Actually running at 31 minutes at the moment. So what we might do, we might put a cut in here. And I'll see you guys soon.